Welcome back, Eagles. I'm your host, Carmen.
And I'm Hope.
And we're
here in the nest.
On today's episode, we'll have Xander Mack here, an MSU student, to talk about poetry.
When we come back, we'll be joined by Carmen and Xander to learn more about himself and his poetry.
Interested in starting a student organization at MSU? Visit Morehead State's Eagle Link website. Search Morehead State Eagle Link on Google and it will be among the top results. Click on Organizations in the hamburger menu to view existing groups, or you can click Start a Student Organization for a step-by-step guide on making your own organization. For more information or help, you can visit the Student Activities Office in ADUC or email them at studentactivities@moreheadstate.edu.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for being on today. So my interview with you today is going to be learning about just you and everything you have to offer and what you do here. So I would like to start off first is, what year are you here at MSU?
I am a sophomore here majoring in media production and journalism at Morehead State University.
Did you come here with wanting to do media production, or did you have any ideas beforehand?
So my original plan was to focus more on journalism, but then as I started doing more studio work, like my freshman year fall semester, I got an audition with News Center, and I auditioned to be one of the main news anchors on the show, and I got it, and I fell in love with just the whole preparation of this News Center, reading the script beforehand, and then working with a group of people, just putting together a show really just kind of made me fall in love with studio production, so I'm more going to be focused on that.
So you like being on camera?
Yes.
Yeah. Before this, did you ever go on camera or anything before News Center or anything?
I attended an early college career program in Elizabethtown, Kentucky that unites 3 high schools, North Hardin, John Hardin, and Central Hardin, and I attended North, and I studied media production over there, and what we did, we created a lot of reels. So we would do reels, PSAs, and we would even have editing projects to where we would work on documentaries. And one of the projects that I did was the Western Kentucky University Media Awards, and I did that my junior year, and so that's a little bit of the work I've had with editing and doing a little bit of camera work.
So you pretty much always knew you wanted to do something in media.
Yes.
What inspired you to even start in high school with media, or did it kind of just fall into your lap?
In middle school is when I kind of realized, I was like, I really want to be a news anchor, but I don't know how to get there. So I met with a teacher that got me in contact with Annette Neblett, my college coach at North Hardin High School, and she created my 4-year plan. She told me to come up with at least 3 colleges. I chose Morehead, Western Kentucky University, and Murray State, and Morehead was always my number 1. And my junior year, I kind of committed to this university because I did 3 over-the-phone interviews and with one of the advisors here, and then I actually came and met with one of them in person. We walked around campus, and this was the school I knew that I wanted to study at here.
What really finalized Morehead for you?
Coming to the university twice on tours and actually getting to see what campus life was like during a dead week, and also just kind of seeing what campus life was like during I think it was football homecoming week. Yes. So that's kind of what kind of finalized that. It's a small town, small classrooms, which means you get more personal interactions with, connections with your professor, and I do appreciate that. Also, you get a lot of more hands-on work than you would at a university that is maybe 200 students a class.
So I know you studied media and everything, but what do you like to do in your free time?
So during my free time, I like to work on poetry. That is just something that is my calling and my personalized opinion outside of working on media, particularly journalism. Poetry has always been a calling for me. And I started that my junior year of high school. I know the story's gonna sound a little nerdy, but I was a junior and I was taking honors English. And my junior year, we had to take, we were reading The Great Gatsby. And so everybody their 11th grade year in high school, you have to read The Great Gatsby. And so we had to do so many tests, and so our English teacher had given us this assignment. It was a poetry writing assignment, and he gave us a list of 20 poets. One of the ones that really stuck out to me was Langston Hughes, and he's also my inspiration for writing poetry as well. But the whole assignment was for us to sit down, click on a poet, and we take at least 1 stanza of their work. So 1 stanza is a composite of 4 lines, and you can put however many words you want in each. we take 4 lines and we curate our own poem. Well, I didn't like that because, here that's plagiarism, and I was like, I'm not going to take somebody else's words I don't understand, so I'm going to write my own poem, and I did. I showed it to him, and it was titled Alone, and it's just about me feeling alone in the world. Like, I was tackling all my challenges alone, everything that I was going through. It just kind of felt like the world was just kind of falling in on me, and I was the only one that was kind of feeling this way, and so when I showed that to him, he was like, this is a good poem, but it's not concrete, and he really helped me hone in on how to write a structured out poem that has good imagery, that even has deep meaning behind it too.
Thank you, Xander, so much for coming on today. I wish I could hear more about your poetry, but I'll let Hope get into that. Right after this break, we'll get Jukebox Club and Hope.
Fuel your day the Eagle way with Eagle Market. Located on the first floor of Craft Tower, we have everything you need to help you power through your busy campus life. From fresh snacks and drinks to frozen meals and essential school supplies, we've got you covered. Plus, we stock toiletries and medications to keep you ready for anything. Why leave campus when everything you need is just steps away? Visit Eagle Market today and discover your new favorite spot on campus.
Hi, welcome to Jukebox Club, a segment where I talk to an MSU student about their favorite album. My name is Daya Morgan, and today I have with me Miss Cadence Lindenberger. So Cadence, what album are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about The Stranger by Billy Joel.
So what made you choose this album?
So growing up, my dad always loved Billy Joel, and I started listening to this album specifically probably when I was like 3 or 4 years old. So it's been engraved in my brain for a very, very long time, and it's one of my favorites.
What's your favorite song on the album?
So my favorite song on the album is Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. It is actually, so it's 3 of his songs combined that he never released. They all had different titles and different meanings and different stories behind them, but he combined them all into one song. So half of it is very light, very easygoing, and then the rest is very upbeat and very peppy, and I always thought it was very meshed well together.
What's your least favorite song?
Okay, so this is very controversial, but I would say my least favorite right now would be Vienna.
That's the one song I knew.
It's just very emotional for, like, I guess people in their 20s, and it makes me cry every time I listen to it, so it's definitely my least favorite right now.
What's a song that you think is severely underrated?
It's another one of his really popular ones, but I think She's Always a Woman deserves more credit than it actually has. He wrote this about his wife when he was 28 years old, and I think it's some very beautiful lyrics, and I just wish it was more popular than it is.
So you mentioned that you listen to this a lot with your dad. What's your favorite song to listen to with your dad?
So, out of all time, it is definitely Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler, because since I was very, very little, we would duet that song in the car wherever we would go. So now it's one of my favorites. I thought it was a really interesting song to start trending, because as we're recording this now, I've gotten probably 7 Piano Man videos on my TikTok today. So I think it's very interesting the songs that he has that become popular now.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on, Cadence. It was so nice to talk to you and get to know you. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the Jukebox Club.
Are you ready to kickstart a career in journalism? Then come join the Trailblazer, Morehead State University's newspaper. Work with others to write intriguing stories to build your resume. Take awesome photographs for news stories. Then get published on the Trailblazer website. To learn more about the Trailblazer, contact faculty advisor John Flavel or visit the Trailblazer's website at thetrailblazer.net.
Welcome back, Eagles. Thank you so much for joining us today, Xander. So I know Carmen talked about like yourself and why you chose Morehead, but I want to get more into your poetry and what you do in your free time. So what made you decide to start writing poetry?
What really made me decide to start writing poetry was, again, as I said before, just that writing assignment. And afterwards, that summer, I went out to Target and I bought this gray journal, and I didn't know what to put in it, but I was like, I want to start writing poetry. I didn't know anything about it, about how to write poetry, so I started off doing pantorams, and I wrote nothing but nature poems for a year.
Pantorum, is that about nature? What is that?
So a pantorum is a poetic writing style, and pretty much it is a stanza that is 4 lines, and it doesn't have like an end, so you can kind of just structure it to be 4 stanzas, 5 stanzas, maybe even 8, but that's kind of what a pantorum is. It has a rhyme, so everything rhymes on together. It doesn't have to break.
How many of those have you written?
It feels like hundreds, I would say,
okay.
yes. And I've even published 5 books out on Amazon myself. They're all e-Kindle books, yes.
Really?
That I had to be peer-reviewed by Patricia Johnson, Ella Bowman. She's the director of Student Support Services. And a professor that is no longer here, but his name is Christopher Hewitt.
Do you have someone that's like inspired you or helped you along your journey to writing these poems?
I would have to say, yeah, Langston Hughes, my true inspiration. I like how his poems are very short, but they're also so deep and compacted with like so much imagery that I like the fact that when you read, you're not just like reading his poetry, you also can get like a visual representation like in your mind too, and I like that. So for me, when it comes to writing, it's anything that comes to mind. I write a little bit about everything. I think I have an ear for every taste, whether that be writing about love, family, friendship, even just life itself, even about my mental health.
That's incredible. And I know you also, do you lead Poetry Slam? Did you create Poetry Slam?
So Poetry Slam was an idea that I came up with my spring freshman year, my spring semester freshman year, and I just wanted to have an event for all campus poets. Now, this wasn't open to as a community event. This was just for students here on the MSU campus, and I wanted to give them a free chance. You did not have to pay for this. So to attend and just watch, it was free. And to even participate was also free, no charge. I wanted to give all campus poets a chance to recite their work and even share their poetic voices, because I think that we all have a story to tell, and I feel that whenever you put a price on that, or whenever you just try to like limit someone's ability to tell their true story, I feel like that just kind of dims their voice and kind of mutes them, and I don't want that. So.
Well, that's incredible. And I know you brought some of your writings to share with us today. Would you want to like share one with us or get into that?
Yes, I will share one that I wrote in August of this semester, and it is titled Riverside, and what this poem is about. Truthfully, is about the things that I am afraid to face. So the first 2 lines are, walking down by the riverside, too afraid to face what may never be. And those 2 lines just stick out true to me because it talks about just things that I don't want to face yet, or I know that I'm maybe not ready enough to handle, like I don't have enough knowledge to handle this, or I don't have enough emotional or even physical just capacity to handle this. So I'm going to love into this. It's Riverside, and it's also a sonnet.
Really?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for sharing that with us. And when we come back, we'll be joined with me and Carmen to finish out the rest of this episode.
We've had a great episode today. Thank you so much, Xander, for coming on. It's been so great to have you as our last guest for this season, and I'm super excited to see some more pieces of yours. I don't know about you, Hope.
I'm also super excited. Thank you so much to Xander, and that was us here
in the Nest.